Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the daily live extra. Yeah, going to America tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a little bit sad that we're not going today?
I'm a little sad we didn't go yesterday.
I am. I'm gutted. I'm not going to. I want to go today. Anyway, we'll be there tomorrow. Story that's just come out in the last hour or so, or whatever. David Ornstein saying Arsenal are in for Zinchenko. Now, of course, listen, it was a long shot.
Yeah.
We've been talked about him, but obviously that shows, I suppose, the quality of the player and why we were interested in him, and it'll be a good signing if Arsenal get him. I don't know quite where they'd play him, but be a really good signing and a bit of a blow to maybe Frank Lampard, who maybe thought that if all things come together late in the window, he might have been the player we could have brought in.
Yeah, obviously Arteta knows him from his time at City, doesn't he? Arsenal buy a lot of players, spend a lot of money, and they've had a look. Must have thought that there's a good reason why they want him. They've got a lot of players. Where are they going to play him? Who knows? But he's a good footballer, and he can play 2 or 3 different positions. Our need is greater than theirs, absolutely. But if they've got the money, there's not really much we can do about it.
No,
is there? If not, we haven't been able to move anyone else on at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see whether anything, being in for him or being interested in him.
Oh yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean he might look at Everton and go, well, actually, I'll get in there. Whereas Arsenal might be a little bit of a different thing, settled in the northwest and all that. But from a purely football perspective, you'd go to Arsenal, wouldn't you? Because they're a team they're in the Europa League. London, can't underestimate that. So yeah, it'll be disappointing, but it wasn't as if we had him and he's done a U-turn. It's just one of those things. He's a good player. We want good players. I've seen a lot of people who were not really bothered either way by him. To be honest, when I've had the discussion about we don't need him. He's not what we need or whatever. If we had a better team, then yeah, I've seen that kind of attitude towards it. But I think he's a hard worker. I think he's a good player. And I think he just fitted in quite well at Everton. Yeah,
right. Definitely the right mentality, and definitely someone who wants to perform and show what he's all about, and someone who's been. He's done brilliantly in Man City, considering the kind of stars they've had. They always, any good team needs players like that who can come in and play a few different positions. I suppose for Man City, they're looking at it and going, well, the people who do that, we actually want those players to be better as well. So I think for us, he would have been absolutely perfect. And I think, if times were slightly different, he would have been someone who would have come to Everton again. We've had that Manchester to Everton connection lots of times when either United have been doing well, or obviously City with the likes of Gareth Barry, maybe less so Fabian Delph, but it's been a good route because obviously they don't have to move. They're going to get first team football, and this one, he's probably at a stage of his career where he's thinking, Arsenal perfect, fighting for Champions League. I'm still playing in Europe. I'm going to be in a good side, and would have a chance of getting in that side with the amount of games in the Europa League they're going to have to play. So, if he goes there, they've got a good player, and you might see a bit more of his qualities more than he showed at Manchester City when he was playing like left back and stuff like that.
It's where the City let him go. Yeah, they haven't got Cucurella in yet, and he is there. He's a comfortable player for City, as in they know he can do the job in different positions. So
yeah,
we'll have to, hopefully we'll hang on in there.
Well, the talk is that as long as City get what they want for him, they'll let him go.
Yeah,
and of course,
I think we've known that. I think it's the payments. That's all it is. We're in a position where we've registered an interest in him. And what we're trying to do with that is come up to a situation where we've got the money to be able to do it. It's not really right now. It's trying to spread that money. You've seen a bit Morgan Gibbs-White. He's another one. Still talking to Chelsea over Armando Broja. That one's still up in the air. So there's a lot of plates spinning at the moment. There's another couple who they're in for as well. I'm not saying you get all these players, of course, because you get one and then that means you withdraw your interest in the other or whatever. Onana's been mentioned. Onana has been mentioned this week. Everton have registered an interest in him. So, you know, there's enough players around. I think we're, as a fan base, we're desperate for a signing, aren't we? Just to... A signing almost gets you through the next week or so, and then you think, like, where's the next one? When you're trying to build something, and just because it is a little bit quiet, you know, people are trying to get stuff done, but we're in the situation we're in because of ourselves, aren't we? We said it every day. So we're gonna have to, you know, Kevin Thelwell, they're trying to do deals as we speak, and it'll be the minute they click with one, the minute Wolves are happy with terms on one, or City or whoever, Chelsea or whatever, the minute they're happy with the terms, then Everton will be able to do the deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Levi Colwell's gone to Palace, hasn't he?
Yeah. But
I mean, I'm not.
We've got lots of centre backs. I'm not.
You know, even though I think he's a decent player, and I think that's a decent. You know,
well, it's
decent
but it's another team in the Premier League strengthening, isn't it? That's the only thing. It's but you'll probably start to get more of the deals now. Once, you know, United are going to do their business over the next week, it looks like.
Well, it looks like they're getting Lissandro Martinez now, don't it?
So they're going to do their business over the next week. Arsenal have done a lot of their business already and will continue. City,
Chelsea getting a couple.
Chelsea have got a couple in. Liverpool have pretty much done theirs. So it'll all start dripping down, won't it? Next, it'll be the next tier now. Tottenham have done theirs. West Ham they've been trying to do business, but I don't think they've actually signed anyone yet.
Well, even then, a similar boat to us in terms of not financial constraints, but them being able to come up with the right deals for teams. You know, some teams have knocked them back with how West Ham wanted to pay for these players. So it is difficult, you know. And when you're looking at it as a fan, you just go, well, we've got 60 million in for the Charleston or whatever. Just go and spend that 60 million. You know, it's not really like that, is it? When you look at, you know, that's 50 to 60 million, not 50 million, say. I think after the add-on, after you take the stuff off and you knock the FFP down and all that, I think it came out about 32 million or something. But that 32 million can be spread, so that's fine. But you're spreading that 32 million, looking at it and going, well, we want 4 players, and that down payment on player A means we can't get that player. And it is a juggling thing. If Everton could get rid of another 2 players now, and I'm not talking big money, just like a couple of
wages and
3
stuff.
or 4 million, it would open the whole thing up for us. But unfortunately, no one is really in for any of our players at the moment.
No, there'll probably be again more late deals, won't we? There's not, as I said, I don't think there's not loads and loads of money flying about elsewhere. I know in the Premier League there is, but elsewhere there's not loads of money flying about. And Everton are going to be looking, but even if FFP wasn't a consideration, I think it's all about best practice now, isn't it?
It's got to be.
It's all about trying to get players in at the lowest possible upfront fee, and then spreading it over the contract and being sensible going forward. You know, and not spending stupid wages on players and trying to get value in everyone we bring in. It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, we've been linked with a few. We've just linked with this morning. Wolfsburg midfielder Asta Vegke. Only young midfielder. Andy likes him. The Pervy likes him. He says he's strong. Get round the pitch. Forrester apparently being at him for him as well. Obviously suited to the Premier League by the size of him. I don't know whether there's much in it, But it's one of them, isn't it, where you hear a name like that and you're like, that's so far a name that I've not really heard of, that there must be something in there somewhere.
Like to be well, I'm sure that listen, Everton do have a lot of interest in Germany. We just don't seem to do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know, Moussa Diaby, Leon Bailey, they were scouted extensively, the pair of them. You know, Mo Camara's still around. You know, he's a midfield player, whoever. No, but he is though, isn't he? You know, he's all, he's going to Leeds, he's going to Leeds. Tyler Adams went.
Well, he went, and he went back.
You know, and you go, okay, well, you know, so he's still around. I mean, Duarte went yesterday, I'm fuming.
Where did he go?
He's gone to Salzburg. They're big, most expensive ever signing. 13 million.
13 million?
Yeah. 13 million.
Champions League, don't it?
I know, but
no, I'm just saying.
I mean, Everton were, sorry, not Everton. It was circulated around Europe that they would accept 11 a couple of weeks ago, which is fine. But it's buttons.
Yeah,
it's buttons because you spread it, and he's 18. But we're not, you know, we're not in. I can sit here and stamp my feet, and you know, a few people actually messaged me yesterday going, "He heartbroken over this one." I was like, I'm not heartbroken, but it's just another one. Yeah. It's just another check the core, right? It's another one. We could have gone to Palace. You know, if we ended up with Onana, brilliant. I'd go, all right, fair enough. That was the plan, but you know, I don't see him coming to Everton. Mo Camara, you know what, 18, 19 million. So it's frustrating because I want to see us doing stuff, but the other side of me, like my right side of my brain, is going, sign it, just pay them on my left side. Like, hang on, mate, you are kind of preaching to just like make sure we get the right deals in place, and that has to be. But I'll never lose that thing of like, no matter how much I try to look at the whole picture, I still can't fully lose that like little kid fan in me of like, I want to sign him.
But I don't think they're the same things though, because there's a difference between wanting to sign somebody and signing the right player or looking at the right player. I don't think they're the same things. I think if you can sit here now and be frustrated at what's going on, but understand what's going on. But if you're sitting here and you're like, well, why aren't we looking at those kind of players? I think that's a completely different thing.
No, it is. Oh, listen, you've heard me moan about this for, I don't know, probably 3 years now, maybe. I thought we're looking in the wrong areas, haven't you? Really, we've been, me and the pivot doing this 3 years ago. How about this player? How about this player? You know, we drive in together going, what about it? Well, should we do this? Both of us having a game of tennis with this. What about this play? Well, yeah, but what about them? This 3 years.
But the thing about it is,
and we're still not going for these.
The thing about it is, though, you've just mentioned Crystal Palace there, and they've just picked up. They could potentially be picking up 2 really, really good players who are going to make their squad better.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure they will make the squad better.
And the outlay isn't huge. No. And they've already got quite an energetic team anyway. And I know Conor Gallagher's gone back to Chelsea. They'll have lost him, but. While we're sitting here like sort of debating it, other clubs are going about doing their business, and this is what worries me, is that
they but they had the reset last summer, didn't they?
No, I know, I get, and I understand that, but they reset really, really well last summer as well. Whereas we're having our reset
as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we're having our reset, and we just seem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like there's not enough. I know, I get that side of things, and I'm understanding that, and I think in a couple of weeks you might go, oh, what was all the fuss about? I understand that, but it still worries me that like these players are going away and they're strengthening other sides one by one, and they're not like mega signings where you go, he's going to change the whole of that team, but one by one, like a Palace, who should never be above Everton, should never ever be above Everton. I'm not saying, listen, they can be all, you know, if they do things the right way, of course, you know, it's not a God-given right, but it's, you know, resources and crowd and everything else.
And certainly the money we've had over the last few years. Yeah,
and the money we've wasted.
Us, but they are.
You look at that and you just think, they're one by one, they're just improving their squad. They're improving one by one, and you look at us, and that's the worry for me, is that while we're sitting here and we've only brought one player in, we're not improving what was already a weak squad, and that needs to you know, you might, don't get me wrong, it might be a case of it might be bump. You might get 1, 2, 3 and very quickly and you go, oh, actually, the squad's looking all right now. And as we get close, but that, hopefully we are looking. Hopefully we are looking.
Mohammed on the super chat says, Basil, all you want's a midfield player that can get around the pitch and that's athletic. Don't we already have that in Decore and Iwobi? Yeah, no, I want a player that can get around the pitch and who's athletic as well as knowing his position and being able to affect the play. We absolutely have got, though. We've got Iwobi. Look at him in. I know it's the training video, but the freaking speed of him. And like you see in the last couple of months, he was brilliant. He was energetic. He set the tone. Now, if that's the start, brilliant. If that's Iwobi now forever and he gets better, then that's great because finally we've got a player who is effective.
Well, it's an energised player.
Exactly, right? So that's great. Decore, we know that he does that, right? But say one of those two are injured then. If we're accepting that they're the most energetic, they can get down the pitch. Say one of those is injured. Decore's had an injury in the 2 seasons he's played and a big injury in both.
Cost him a lot of time.
Right? So if he goes out, who comes in, who's energetic, who can steam all over the pitch like those two? Because Andre Gomez can't. Tom Davies can't. And I you know, it's on record. I like Tom as a squad player, but he can't do that job. Dele, I don't know. Dele looks like he's nice and sharp and wants to have a go. I don't think he can do the same job as Decore. I think he's better affecting the play at the top end of the pitch. 3. Alan, no, he can't do it. You can go hunting, but there's a fucking big gap behind him. So that's what I'm saying. The person we bring in now has to be able to do what Iwobi and Decore can do, but also, for me, know the position in front of that back four, but also be able to affect the play. So it isn't, I'm not only saying I only want to run it, because we could probably go and get someone in the League 2 who is energetic and can run around. I'm talking a runner who's got that bit of quality about them as well and who will put his foot on the ball and be brave. That's what I want to see my Everton team. And I've got loads of faith in Frank Lampard. Some people haven't. That's fine. Everyone sees it differently. I'm not right and you're not right. You know what I mean? If you've got a different view. We all see it through our own eyes, don't we? Of course we do. I just look at it and think, you said it before, you get 2 or 3 in, but 2 or 3 really affect and can change the whole dynamics of a football team. We saw that with Carlo when he brought James, Decore and Allen in. It flipped the team. The team all of a sudden looked really good. Obviously injuries kicked in, but that team still ended up with 59 points. So, and there were still gaps in it. So things can change. But you're right. You look around and you see others, and you go, we need to be doing something. And I know they are. And again, I spoke to people last night, and it's like, we're edging. And we probably will have to edge, because we can't just go, right, what? And the other side of that is we shouldn't either. Even if we did, we shouldn't just go, Wolves, what, you're on 30 million? Yeah. Because what I would like Everton to do, and this is hard because I think when you're in a position where you want players, I think it's difficult to go, I want the club to put the brakes on if it's not right. Because that's difficult, because you look and go, yeah, but he would make us better. I know, yeah, but he's 5 million more than we want to pay. I know, but he makes us better, but nobody's... And you'd have to have that thing of going... You have to know when to walk away. Don't get. And some clubs are very good at it. I said it the other day. Some clubs just go, nah, not paying that, and they're gone. They're gone. And you think they'll go back for him in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you need to.
And they go and get someone else.
You need the player on your side as well, don't you?
Yeah.
If the player really.
And I think we have in terms of Gibbs White. Anyway, we've definitely got the player on our side.
If you want the deal to be done, you've got to have that little bit of pushback as well from the player. Going, I do actually want this move. I don't want to stay here. By the way, I've only got whatever I've got left on my contract, and I ain't staying. So you either take this or you carry an unhappy player with you.
I was wrong yesterday. I said Gibbs White's got a year. He's got 2 years left. That was my mistake yesterday. And that kind of makes you go, okay. So I understand why they're now saying, well, it's 25 million. Yeah. People can debate all day long whether they think he's worth 25 million quid. Of course they can. And there is, I would say, there is better value in and around Europe. But Everton might be looking for steady players as well at the moment, and players who you know what you're getting as well. But I'd like them to also, I've said this before, to take the chance as well.
Every player's a risk, aren't he? Every player is a risk, and he's only played, I think, about 20 Premier League games. So it's not like, you can go, oh, he's used to the Premier League. He's definitely not. But if they've identified them and that's who they want and that's who they're pushing for, and numbers work out in the way they want to play him, then let's see it through. Let's see it through to a point where obviously we're happy, and Wolves would be happy and the players happy. If that's not the case, then we have to. This is the other side of it, isn't it? You want it to be fast because you know there isn't much time, and you want to do the next one. But ultimately, we don't know how many plates are being spun at the moment, so it is really hard when you haven't got that cash and you can't just wade in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I just think for momentum and for mood and for lifting the spirits and everything else, I think if Everton could get. If it is Morgan Gibbs-White, if they could get that done this week, I think it gives everything a bounce. Even with people who aren't 100% sold on him, at least it's a bounce of like, look, they are doing something, and that is a player who's coming in and he's energetic and he'll be up for it. And that's the way it is, isn't it? We'll get some more fucking sponsorships in, so we can spend some money. One or the other. Steel Ned's dad is in the comments, says, is it a coincidence? No Ned today and no problems. Had a nice morning at his graduation, followed by dinner in an Italian. Proud of him. Safe trip, lads, and enjoy America. Is right, Steve. Yeah, he looked very dapper in his motorboard and his suit on there, so he deserves the praise. He's done well, the kid. He's done well. Not when he's in here, but he's done well away from here. Martin Armstrong says, afternoon guys, just want to wish you a safe journey and hope you all have a good time in the USA. PS, try and bring Ned back in one piece.
That's Cam's job.
That is, absolutely, it's Cam's job. Tyler says, lads, I'd just like to point out he has 2 years left. Yeah. Hope this calms the mind. We're afraid of overpaying for a player with only 1 year left on his contract. Yeah. Derek says Zinchenko be a great addition, but the 2 links to the Belgian midfielders could be great. One Nana. So is it Asta Varane the other one?
He's the other one, yeah.
No, okay. I've got him on FIFA. He's good.
Oh, there you go.
Plays midfield for me. He's good.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll see. Dave Simpson says, who do you believe are our 2 starting left backs? I was reading underneath. 2 starting centre backs next season.
Tarkowski is number 1 centre back.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know. I think we're going to play 3. So I think if it's 3, it'll be Mina or Keane and Godfrey. But he played Holgate at the end of the season, so we'll have to wait and see. But I do think Tarkowski's going to be our number 1. Definitely our number 1.
Yeah. I think absolutely.
And he looks a unit. An absolute unit.
Yeah, he looks. Even in that training video, he was leaving his foot in on a couple of people. I was thinking, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Tempo setting as well, I like that. Richard Parr says, hope you lads have a great time in the States. I'll be living vicariously through you. It's taken me back to the time I got up at 7 a.m. in Austin, Texas to drive down to an Irish bar and watch Leon Osman secure a 1-1 draw against a mighty Stoke City. Just me, one other blue, and a West Ham fan watching this dire game at breakfast time. Happy days. Is right, Richard. Bobby says, I imagine that Ned is excited about the American trip, just like a 5-year-old gets excited on Christmas Eve. I get excited on Christmas Eve. So I hope he gets what he wants from America. But I do wonder if America can cope with what it'll get from Ned.
Yeah. He's not here today because he's having his graduation. So, but he did say before that he said he's got butterflies in his belly. But I just think that might be food poisoning.
I always get that little thing. You going away, you always get that little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, I don't like travelling.
But so when we're there,
I like when you get there. That's when it starts.
I'll be having me calms and that tomorrow morning. Don't worry. Barry says, afternoon lads and Paige, massive well done to young Ned on his graduation. Yeah, couldn't agree more, Barry. Andy Campbell says, wishing you lads a fantastic trip to the States. Up them toffees.
Cheers.
Lossinger says, any fast food places you are looking forward to in the US? Denny's breakfast was unreal last time I went.
Denny's is good.
Denny's is alright, yeah.
I didn't have Denny's last time I went because I
haven't had it for years, but I have had
I always try and go independent. But we'll see what happens.
We'll have to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Carl says, desperately want decent players in, but also really want to see the club shifting players out. Any knowledge on whether the club are near moving anyone out yet? Not talking kids, but the likes of Keane, Gomez, or Iwobi. Iwobi won't be getting moved anywhere, Carl. So if you're hanging your hat on him leaving the club, I think your hat's going to be lost because he ain't leaving anywhere. He'll be an integral part of, if not the team, the squad this season. Michael Keane, I imagine, won't go anywhere either, unless there's a bid towards the end of the window. Andre Gomez, I think, will go this summer. But I think you said it like a couple of weeks ago, probably just be a loan back to Portugal for the year, and then next summer it'll be like £2 million or something to Benfica or whatever, and that'll be it. But his wages, will do getting him off the wage bill, won't it? Bobby says, have a safe and very enjoyable trip to America, lads. You've earned it for the entertainment you give to Toffee TV regulars like myself.
By the way, this is like, this is work, It's not like a holiday. It is actually work. We're not going to be swanning around like doing what we want. We have got things we need to do, and we're over there for actual work.
But also not going down the mines, are we?
No, but it is work. Yeah, but that's not what work is. Work is when your time's not necessarily your own.
No.
We can't just like go to Guantanamo Bay waterboarding, can we? Do you know what I mean?
Told me Mrs. and Amy the story of that last night. Amy couldn't believe it, like crying her eyes out. So I told them they could get a flight for $99 return in the day, and it's only an hour away. They should do it because we'll be like going around Capitol Hill and all that. Like, people loving it. Eric says, good. I never wanted the injury-prone Zinchenko to come.
Is he injury-prone?
Oh. Peter said, I hope Ned got punished for his mistakes yesterday. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about that. Let's have a look on the chat. Jack says, is the match early Sunday morning? Well, it kicks off at midnight Saturday night. So, yeah, 12:01, it's Sunday morning, isn't it? So it's Saturday night, midnight. Toffee Boy says, hello, lads, hope you're all well. What do you think of the stadium progression? I think it's looking amazing.
It's being built.
It is looking good, though, because now... And what was really good was it looks great and it looks big. And then someone put on Twitter, this is actually where it is, and it's only half, and then the next bit. So it's fantastic how it's coming along.
This bit's going to go this bit's really fast. Putting up steel's dead easy. Yeah. It's just Meccano. Yeah. And it'll be when it starts getting closed up and you can't actually see what's going on. It'll look like feel like it might start sagging. But once that stadium is got all the steel, then it gives you the feel of a stadium. So this is like the good bit. This is where it looks like it's going to be. Look like you can see what it is.
Otter on the super chat, thank you very much, mate. Says after the Richarlison deal, how much money do you guys think is actually available to buy players? Well, I can only go off. I don't know whether it was the Swiss Ramble who'd put it up, and he'd looked at all the figures and looked at how it might affect Everton's like financial year. So what? And he come up with the figure of, I think it was £34 million to buy players. Now, 34 million doesn't seem a lot, but if you bought players and said, well, say Everton bought 4 players, and the first payment is £6 million quid. That's only 24 million. The first down payment. Yeah. Now the thing is, you've got to find 24 million quid next summer, 24 million quid a year, and all that. If they're whatever that would be, say they were £30 million players, you could do it like that, because that's how clubs do. No, not very few teams, if any, now pay the majority up front. Yeah. You know, even Man City don't pay the full thing up front anymore. So it's always amortised over the contract, which is why clubs can bring players in. So 34 million actually is a decent amount of money. But what you then have to factor in is how much money is going out the door in wages with players who aren't even going to play. And this is what's killed Everton, really. Yes, we've wasted it on overpaying for players. We've wasted it on having too many players at times. But the thing that really has killed the football club in terms of profit and sustainability is the amount of players who we don't even use, who are taking big money. You know, Cenk Tosun spent the season here last season, took £5 million out the football club, and played, what was it, 4 minutes or something in the derby for Benitez, and then he brought him on against Hull as well, I think, Hull City in the FA Cup. He replaced Rondon, didn't he, in that classic picture of Benitez, Tosun and Rondon all in one shot.
Holy Trinity.
Where Everton are. The reason why Everton are where they are. No. So it was people like that, and that is what has killed Everton, because there hasn't just been Cenk Tosun. There's been others. Fabian Delph did play an important role at times last season, but he also spent a hell of a lot of time not at the football club. You know, on a treatment table for an hour and then back home and things like that, and we were getting no value from it. So there is, you know, they're the things that Everton have to do much better. It's what they have to do so much better. And if Everton can cut that away so that the people you're playing, people you're paying are involved most weeks, and then you fill it with a few of, you know, Lewis Dobbins of the world and people like that, then all of a sudden, and this is what Liverpool have done quite well, really. You know, low to praise them, but, you know, is that Klopp had work with about, to get them where they were before he started going deeper, they worked with about 16 or 17 players, and the rest were then made up of Curtis Jones, Nico Williams, people like that who were in and around.
But even people like Minamoto and
Minamino. I called him Minamoto the other day. Minamino, yeah, well, exactly, from, what was it, 7 million quid.
And Origi.
Like
that, you know what I mean?
So they used them, didn't he? They got them fit. They kept them. They all had the inhalers, which is good, because you need that, because we're all asthmatic, of course. But they kept them fit, supplemented it with players who were
other inhalers.
Supplemented it with players who were in youth, the reserve side, or whatever you want to call it, 21, 23s. And they were able to, and them, don't get me wrong, them players were excellent and got them higher up and higher up. And it's only now that they're really capable of having a deep squad.
It's funny enough, this goes full circle, isn't it? Because it's like what Zinchenko is at Manchester City. Those players and players like him, they all have moments during the season where they're used, and they play and they do something, and they're important. You know, whether it's, don't forget, Liverpool, until the last week of the season, were going for 4. Well, they played every game this season. They could have played.
No.
That means that every player they've had must have done something.
Contributed.
You know, every single one, and not all of them are world beaters. James Milner, you know, people like that. They're not all incredible. The Greek lad they've got at left back, I don't know his name.
Tsimikas.
You know,
he's got better, to be fair.
But that's what I'm saying. No, they all.
But they bought him a year before. No one, he was never.
And City do the same. Obviously, City do the same, and it's. You look at their bench and they're the same. It's like there's nothing wasted. And look at this season with City. They've trimmed the fat. Fucking hell, they're fat.
The fat
would walk into our first team and
play with the wrong foot and still get in.
And still be better. Like, and that's what these clubs are really, really good at. That's actually what the downfall, I think, of Chelsea was, in a way, was when they won the Champions League. Everyone looked at them and they're going to be great, but they didn't because they didn't have those backup players when their wing backs got injured. They didn't have those players to come in. They didn't have. Lukaku was wrong, but they didn't have anyone else like Lukaku, and then they didn't have anyone like Kai Havertz. So you've got to have players that contribute. You know, we've had players at Everton during our years where you might go, you know, it wasn't brilliant, but you tell you what, he contributed. He did something to add. He went into a side when there was like 7 other players, and he did his job, and everyone thought he was brilliant because of that. You know,
Moyes was good at that, wasn't he?
Even if like the Stephen Naismiths of the world and people like that, you know, these are the players. Man United, when they had people like Wes Brown and John O'Shea,
Quentin Fortin,
and all these players
play against us and
he used to go in the side when they played after the Champions League game, and they were brilliant because they just give everything.
They knew the job. They give everything.
And if we have a squad, no matter how big that squad is, every single one of those players has to add something on a match day. Every single one
and
of them.
And that's you can carry 1 or 2 being injured. Football happens. Injuries happen. But we've had a situation where we're looking to just get people out on loan, just so they weren't on the wage bill. But they're all you know, that should never happen.
But that's where, funny enough, that's where people like when you look at Michael Keane and you say, you start looking at it and go, well, you want to get rid of him. Yeah, you probably would, but at the same time, I think if Michael Keane comes into the team to replace, say, a Yerry Mina, or if Tarkowski picks up a suspension or something, he can do that. I don't want to play in every game. So that's not too bad. I don't mind that.
And he's available most weeks,
and he's available, and I don't mind that as such. It's when you before someone said about, well, we've got the Corey and we've got a Iwobi. It's like, yeah, but scratch the surface. And actually, Iwobi played a dozen good games last season. Scratch the surface and then start going, well, who replaces them? It's when you have someone who can come in and you go, this lad, 1 game, 2 games, he'll do the job. He'll do the job. It's funny, and again, it's like when Tom Davies come in over when Alan went out Christmas before last, and he came in, he'd done a job, and then he went out the side. It's like, that's it, that's all you need. No one's saying he has to be a world beater. What you're saying is he can come in and do a job. You know,
that's it though, isn't it? When we're talking about like Iwobi and Decore, when I say like Decore's our best midfielder because he can do this, that and the other, the reality is I'd love Decore to be sub. Because we've got 2 lads in who are even better than Decore. But the simple fact is, when Decore's not in, we'd notice it massively because we ain't got anyone else who can do it. Yeah. So when you're going through the gears as a club and you're trying to build and build and build, your starters should eventually become your subs, and then you trade them out. That's how it does. City have just done it, haven't they? City had Gabriel Jesus was a starter, and then he was back out, and now they just sold him. And he's
the fat.
And he's 25.
Mohammed says on the super chat, I think the profile we need is a Rodri, Barry, Jorginho, that category. Sit, be calm, intelligent, protect centre-backs, not necessarily athletic. They improve the team 30%. Absolutely, I understand not those plays exactly, but that we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? That type of player who understands, sits in front of the back four, doesn't waste his energy, doesn't waste energy. They'll show that at the end of the season. Intelligence and experience to just sit.
The only thing I'd say though is that in a 4-3-3, absolutely, he doesn't have to be mobile. Yeah. You're right in that, Mohammed. But if Everton are playing with 2 centre midfield players, they've both got to be mobile.
Oh, if it's 2,
then you can't have that person that can't get around the pitch. You can't. And that's what's thingy. True Blue Order on the super chat. Thanks very much, mate. Says buy a burger. Enjoy, lads. Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. And that's
have you done Otters after the Richarlison deal? Yeah, we've done that. Cheers, Otter.
Yeah. Joel says Jack Cork could do that for Buttons.
Jack Cork? No. See, what I like about Jack Cork is he just bobs along.
He does bob along. Listen, Jack Cork.
Was he one of Swansea's?
He was, yeah.
How old's he?
He's about 31 now, isn't he? 32. But he's done a job for Burnley, to be fair. He's gone in and Josh Brownbill's another one. He's younger. Brownhill's another one. You know, he's younger. He's mobile. Is he the right quality? I don't know. But, you know, but these people have got them, haven't he? These teams have got things like that. Scott says, all right, lads, I just wonder what your thoughts are on how we can make the most out of the new stadium, commercial-wise. I personally think we should go down Spurs' route and host NFL games.
No. We're not getting NFL games. I appreciate the sentiment. I think it's a brilliant idea. We're just not getting NFL games. Spurs' stadium is built to be an NFL stadium. It's got an underground pitch. It's got other dressing rooms for the NFL teams. They don't use Spurs. It is an NFL stadium as well as a football stadium. It was built for that reason. And eventually someone, well, I say eventually, in the next couple of years, someone will either move a team to London to play there, or someone will take a team that is already in America and move it to London, and they will. We've said it loads of times.
With that, aren't you?
It's 100%, million percent happening.
They don't care, do they, about moving?
They do not care.
They just don't care.
Someone will do it, and the fella who does it will probably buy Spurs as well. It's why the stadium is not called the Allianz Arena or something. It's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So when they do NFL games and they go live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's like they're literally selling themselves. They've literally sponsored themselves.
That's what West Ham done with.
Because you think about it, when you think about it, right? That's the value. That's the value in the brand. Like Nike brought out the Spurs NFL range. Like, so their kit in an American footy kit with like Kane on the back. Like, this is unbelievable level marketing. They're saying, well, when whatever team comes over here, if everyone in the UK wants a team, it'll be that team, and you will all come and watch it, and it's just unbelievable. What Everton have got, and Everton can't quite do that. And what's funny?
Come on.
Do you know who's trying to copy them? Real Madrid.
Are they?
So Real Madrid's pitch, right? So anyone who's watched any of the Champions League games last season at Real Madrid, or any of their games, will have seen this weird. There's a whole part of the side of the pitch, the bottom tier, where there's no seats and there's like covering over it. So basically what's going to happen is their pitch will fold, will go across one by one and go down into this trench one by one. So it stacks on top of each other. And that stadium can be turned into an NFL stadium. That's what he wants. It can be basically concert venue, but it can even be switched into two halves with a thing that comes down the middle, which could separate it and make two different tennis courts if they want to. You want to see it? It's unbelievable. Like, so much thought's gone into it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here going, why didn't Everton do that? These people are thinking so far now, multi-sport arenas. So that's what we're competing against. But Everton could definitely get international footy games.
Yeah.
They could definitely get concerts. They could get Champions League final, Europa League final, depending on what category it's given. And then we'll have to see. It's multi-purpose in the fact of where it is and what the value it offers and the see. But like, as I said, Spurs, they've thought this out long term about what they want to do, and don't get me wrong, not everyone's doing that, are they? Like, you know, Man United, that's what Man United, I imagine, will do when they look, because they're competing against Manchester City in terms of revenue within the city. You never see gigs, obviously, at Old Trafford. They used to do some, but obviously it's mostly the Etihad. But that's what they'll be thinking of next, multi-sports. What other sports can we get here? How can we get the NFL to the north? You know, an iconic stadium like Old Trafford. So these clubs are thinking on different levels to Everton. But in general, Everton need to be thinking, you know, sponsor for the stadium, what we can do with it afterwards. I know Atletico Madrid are about to announce one. Apparently it was supposed to be Allianz, but it's not going to be Allianz. But someone like Allianz, who like doing it like one stadium per country, they could be someone for us, part of their network. We're going to the Allianz next week, the American version.
Allianz
Field. You've got the Juventus, they've got one. You've got Bayern Munich, there's another one. Madrid, where Atletico Madrid was set to be the Spanish one, but that's not gone through. But they're going to be something else now. So that's what Everton need to do. And Everton need to be ready, don't they, for when we go into that stadium. You've got to be ready for everything that comes with it. You know, restaurants, shop, museum. You should be going into the new stadium and everything should have like Coca-Cola or Pepsi on it. You know, you shouldn't be, you know what I mean? It should, you know, never mind Mars bars in the upper, you know, it should be like Mars things everywhere, because we've done a deal with them, because they want to be in ours. An exclusive deal for that's the only chocolate you can buy, you know what I mean? Not go down the cash and carry and you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the deals you do though, isn't it? Yeah. Everything has to be exclusive. And that's where football is now. As I say, it's not just about one sport anymore, it's about everything now.
Yeah. Brian says no reindeer starkers for dinner tonight, boys. Enjoy your trip.
Cheers, mate.
Gray Leeds says good weather this week and next to go kayaking. Wink, wink.
There you go. Manchester United have agreed an €85 million deal for Frankie de Jong. That's where Barca have got their money from.
Robert Oldfield says, lads, I've been on holiday, not seen much of you. Do I need to do anything regarding and change into Premier? No, you don't. No. Dean says, how long is the layover in Dublin? The place is absolutely chaotic.
It's 3 hours.
It is. I don't like that, what you just said, Dean.
It's 3 hours, and
we can do US
we're
immigration.
hoping to go through the US immigration there, so
we're there.
That'll sort it out.
G'day, Leeds. Can't go to USA without visiting IHOP for a brekkie.
I've never been to IHOP.
Haven't you?
No, never.
Rob says, when do Juventus have to pay for Moise Keane?
next year.
Are the US games on the Everton website? I don't know.
They must be.
They must be. They can't not be.
They must be.
Mills says, afternoon lads, you guys mentioned the Finch Farm training matches that are way to watch the highlights. Have a great time in the USA and congrats to Ned. No, I've not seen them, mate. No. I've not seen them, mate. I've seen obviously Dom's goal from Gabam's plan. Was it the Corey header? But I don't think they've put them anywhere for anyone to watch. James says only Everton would get a sleeve sponsor after releasing a kit. Do you think they'd be able to go back to the shop?
Anything that is, we've been assured that when a sleeve sponsor is done and announced, you will be able to go to the shop and get it slapped on. Remember the Danker ones? Remember the 95? Because obviously they released the kit for the cup final, didn't they? It didn't have a sponsor on it. And you'd have to go and get it. I never got one. I had the original one, but it never had NEC on it. But I've had NEC put on it since by Rich.
NEC. Brad says, is there any thought that Tarkovsky will make Keane better? Watching them training together yesterday makes me wonder if Keane was better in the Burnley side with Tark.
But it's from a
shame how better he is in our side with Mina.
From a football point of view, though, it's they're too similar.
Depends if he plays 3.
Yeah.
If Mina went, say, and he played 3, and Godfrey was the runner, and those two were then possibly, yeah. Good organising, isn't it? Keane can have good games.
Yeah.
But I think in an ideal world, he'd be sub, wouldn't he? Because he's dependable for like the squad, and he's always fit, like you said. But it's up to him, though, isn't it? It's up to him to get in and perform to a level where people are like, you know what, he's done well here.
Do you know what? Can it just go? I know there's another stadium question there, but I don't know if you've been watching anything on BBC recently, but certainly I've been watching a couple of the women's games. But obviously there's adverts for the Commonwealth Games, and it just makes me quite happy that we didn't get the Commonwealth Games in this city, because number one, I think we would have made an absolute mess of it with the people who've been running the council at the time. But number two, remember our stadium was supposed to be.
That was part of it.
It was supposed to be the main stadium of it, wasn't it? And I just think to myself now, if that had happened, how much would we have had to have tried to rush this stadium? Everything would have been dead rushed, and we wouldn't have never got that design, because it was all going to be like Man City's, wasn't it? It was like the stadium was going to be built, but only partly built.
Yeah.
And then it was going to be built on afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I'm probably more happy that Birmingham got it rather than us.
Carl says, what feeling do you get from the club around where they expect us to finish this year? Is there any worry about us being in a relegation battle, or do they feel we were unlucky? I don't think two things to come out of that, Carl. One, I don't think they feel like we were unlucky, and that was the main reason why we were where we were. But there is factual stuff that placed us there, which normally wouldn't happen. The amount of things that happened to us contributed to where we were. I don't see that same amount of things happening again this season to put us back there, and I think that's what the club are looking at. But by the same token, they know that we've got to be better. That's the message there. They know they've got to be better. The players know they've got to be fitter. I watched the Mari Graham and Ben Godfrey thing, and they're talking about being more robust and getting your training regime right and doing all it. Because you look at it, too many players were missing for too long last season, and injuries, when other teams don't really get as many injuries, were other teams fitter than Everton last year, possibly? I know Chris Jones has done a lot of work this summer before they come back on how to get the maximum out of players.
Did you see the video of Spurs training?
No.
They were throwing up at the side.
Yeah,
the fella said he'd never seen a pre-season as
tough.
So I don't think tough was the word he used. He said, I think he said brutal was the word. He's like, they were literally throwing up.
Conte does, though. Conte makes you. It's what he did with Inter. He makes them. And don't forget, he wasn't pre-season at Tottenham last season, was he? So you've got to get them players fit. They push them to the limit. They do. It's difficult, but can Everton be fitter? Absolutely. I mean, Benitez sold that 85% thing really well, where you think, oh, maybe he's got something in that. No one else has said it.
Why it's why it's horrible when players are injured in pre-season.
Yeah.
You know, because Seamus Coleman is gonna, you know, if he's not been able to participate and he's not doing the same levels,
gonna be all over.
You know,
the place,
he's not gonna come back up to it. Hopefully, it's not an issue because Patterson will be playing. And, but it's not good when they're not training.
Dom was saying money the other night. He'd like, this is the first pre-season he's had for a few years because he's like been away with the Euros or different things have gone on. And he's not had the pre-season. This is his first one, so you know, hopefully he'll hit the floor. You know, run properly,
the ground,
hit the ground, hit the floor,
hit the floor.
Ground. Well, maybe, you know, he might suck something off the Charleston. Gary Ward says the NFL has been wanting to expand in England for a while. Gray Leeds says extended training highlights are on the Everton YouTube channel. IOP is great again from Gary. KSI says, are we not setting the bar too low a game at the stadium by 1, not going for a multi-sport stadium, 2, 55,000 capacity. Hard not to be pessimistic at times with the lack of our commercial clout. Feel like by the time we get to the stadium, we'll have already set the bar too low.
Yeah, there is an aspect of that, but there's also an aspect of where the stadium is and what they had to do to try and get planning permission and all the rest of it. And the footprint's not huge, and also if you think about it, like for the things that we've just been speaking about there, like pitches that are like removable and all that thing, there's no space there for that.
No.
You know, there's no you can't. You're digging down into the dock that you've just filled. You know, there's no real room for that. There's no real footprint for that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think what we're going for a new stadium and a new football stadium, and they listen. And also the other side of it is, I'd like to think the people who come in at the beginning and worked on the stadium and worked on what exactly Everton needed will have looked at all that extra stuff and gone, there's no way you're going to attract the NFL because, you know, Tottenham have already got that, and it's not going to come up here to the north, and if it goes anywhere else, it'll be Germany or Spain or Paris or whatever, rather than going to another city within the same country. So they will have looked at all those aspects and gone, you can attract Champions League games, or, you know, a final or a Europa League final or international football. Those things you can attract. You know, if England win the bid for the Euros or a World Cup, you'll be able to get games here. But all that other stuff, there's no point investing in all this money because no one... Look at Liverpool. Liverpool are one of the big clubs in the world. They're renovating their stadium to just be a football stadium, nothing else, apart from having gigs on. It's not like they're looking for it. And they're the ones with their owners, you would think, let's get a new stadium because we can get an NFL team over here. So I think they will have looked into all that kind of stuff. And if there's no room for it, then... this is where we wanted. This is what we wanted. We could have had all this, as I said, if we'd gone to Croxteth, because you'd have loads of room. We'd already be in, making money, but it just wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be an iconic stadium like what we're getting.
Scott Ingham says, thanks lads, love the channel, keep up the good work. Cheers, Scott. Alex says Mira was blowing out of his arse at training. Wanderlust says come to Canada a few years down the road. Tom O'Reilly says, while you're in the States, make sure you say, I'll just get a Dr. Pepper from the cooler, like Scouse text from Alan Partridge.
That'd be bad. He loves Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I do like Dr. Pepper, to be fair. Simon Jones says, so many great bands from Liverpool. Get them together and hold a concert at Bramley Moor Dock. Should be an Everton documentary on Netflix, says Brainrats. Yeah. Jack says Frank looks in good shape. If the players get his work ethic, we'll be sound. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Someone said if you get an interview with Frank, what would be the first question you'd ask him off camera?
Hi Frank. I'd say off camera.
Is there something you'd want to say, like ask him, just away from? I
don't think I can say it here.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'm allowed to talk to him.
Wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay.
If I could ask him what, I'd say to him, should Tim Howard have saved your shot?
I can answer
in the
for
2009
him. Yes, he should
FA
have done.
Cup final.
Absolutely, he should have done.
Jesus.
Ariel Erazo says, cheers from New York City. Hope to see you guys on Saturday in Baltimore.
You will do, I imagine.
Do we? We're doing something at 4 o'clock on Saturday in Baltimore in the Firehouse, doing a live show.
I hope they've got a Dalmatian.
We're doing a live show there for whatever it'll be, 45 minutes or whatever. So, yeah, we'll be around there from probably 1 o'clock at the weekend. 30 degrees. It's going to be very warm. Very warm. It should be good. So we're looking forward to it, yeah. So make sure you come up and say hello. Absolutely. Let's have a good chat. No. Not missing
Ned's going to be wearing a bucket hat and like a coat like he's going to see the Stone Roses. He'd be like the one out of Kevin and Perry. Hello, Miss Matson.
Eugene says Everton remain in talks with Wolves over the signing of Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah. Elliot says, can see Tom Davies being our number 6 going into the season, and if he plays the anchor, I think he can do a job. Defo room to improve, but if we play a 4-3-3, I can see it working. Ryan says, stopgap, just bring Ghana back.
Stop. He's going to Turkey, isn't he? I think he's just gone to Turkey as well. Just King. Fenerbahce.
Oh, has he? Yeah. They were interested in him. The January when we got him. Couple of Turkish clubs.
Jared Brandtwaite.
Is it done yet?
According to someone it is. Who's the someone? The Guardian, I think.
Well, it is. It's just they're just waiting.
Centre back signs a 1-year deal with PSV. There's nothing on.
No, it is. But I think it was due to be announced today, which would be interesting. I think he'll do well there. Over there.
It's a great move from that.
It's good. Rob says my home shorts are being delivered today. Will I be able to send it back to get the sleeve sponsor? It must be his home shirt. It must have home shorts.
No,
I'm not going to buy another shirt to get it.
Do people like really want sponsors on their shirts that much that asked? See, if I got the shirt now and it didn't have the sponsor on, I'd be made up. I'd be absolutely if I'd got that shirt before they put that on, I'd be delighted. I won't want sponsors on my shirts. I'd be absolutely made up.
Gotta get shirts, actually, yeah. James says Joe Anderson would have had Bellway Homes building the stadium. Would have been ready for the game.
The hospital's going to be open. They're going to start moving in September.
Honestly,
it's going to finally be done.
10 years late.
Langroche building it. We'll finish it off.
They sorted it. Dean says Wolfsburg is signing Svanberg, replacement for Asta Branch.
There you go.
Gray Lead says, by all accounts, it looks as though Lampard that's all beasting the players to get them properly fit for the start of the season. Nothing like what the FSW was doing last year. We need to win teams on fitness. Well, that's it. You can keep going. You stay in games and get results. Andy Walker says, sorry if this has been asked before regarding the debt. Does the end of next season or the season after mean the debt is discounted and we can start again? Or does it continue to roll over? It continues to roll over, but obviously if you're spending less and less, then your position's improving all the time, Andy, isn't it? So this year, like the year ended was 3 of a cycle, but it was also 1 of a cycle and 2 of a cycle.
A lot of cycles.
It's over a 3-year period, isn't it? So, but obviously when it's
you just got to get that money down. It's as simple as that.
Stop wasting money. Dan says, all right, lads, any update on Ped's training gear delivery?
No, sort of. Well, basically what's happened...
The update is you're not getting it.
They got in touch with... Yeah, but I've had a cunning plan. I can't really talk about that here. But, so basically they said, oh, we can get you the shorts now and we'll cancel the top for you. And I was like, no, but I do want the top. And they were like, but we don't think you can get the shorts in time for you. But I have been down to the shop this morning and I have bought another pair of shorts.
Oh, okay.
So I have a cunning plan that, again, I can't legally talk about on here. Nice. So there you go. So okay. I've got shorts. I went in and I looked at the purple ones, and I actually the girl brought them over and I actually bought them, and then I went outside and I was like, don't like the material. Went back inside, gave them back to them, got my money back for them. And they are very purple as well, very, very purple. So, okay. So I just got 1 pair of shorts.
Jack Lad says, if we play 3 at the back, I can see Godfrey playing sweeper with his pace and aggression. True Blue Order on the super chat. Sorry, forgot Ned's Burger. Cheers, mate.
You only have half with Cam.
Yeah. James says, afternoon, lads. Hope you're well. Is there anyone from PSG flash sale you go after? Is Draxler out of reach?
No, that's not where we should be looking.
No, they do have some good players, but we need people we can rely on and younger model. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd take Garner for the season. Yeah. I would, just because he does that job really well. Do you think the stuff that happens to him towards the end of the season will put people off? Maybe, yeah.
Because there's also talk of like people who are trying to get moves who haven't got COVID vaccinations. Seen that, yeah. Are struggling to get moves as well. Sure that. Because Kante and someone else haven't gone to Chelsea, have they? And I know there's at least one from our squad that hasn't gone to America because of. No. I'm just saying. Yeah. Just saying.
It's it, isn't it? It's there. Emmy, are you flying economy? Absolutely. We are. Yeah, Jack says if the players aren't up to fitness, how are they supposed to perform? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jack. Absolutely right.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong at all. And Everton Clip says, who's the dream realistic signing for you? So someone we can actually get, but it'd still be like, that's a brilliant signing.
Conor Gallagher.
Sangari would be mine. Onana, those are excellent prospect. He's someone we could have and then sell him on, make money on him. Steel Am says, are they putting in some new roads around the new stadium? Traffic was bad enough just going to the Premier night, especially Ed's Lane.
No. They are changing the layout of Leeds Street. Is it Leeds Street? So that when you get to the bottom, down by sort of like the BMW garages on the right hand side, and you turn towards you're going to Costco, there's going to be a road that goes straight down to the Dock Road. Nice. So it'll be a continuation, and that'll take you onto that road, so rather than like being stuck in the lights there and then having to do a weird left turn towards Costco. So that's going there. I also seen something this morning, I don't know how true it is, that someone's bought Terry's timber yard over the road, and that's going to be completely knocked down, and that's going to be made into like an area for like a pick-up area, taxis and stuff. So that's getting done. Apparently, somewhat I hear. But the roads now, a lot of the roads down there have already been done. There's a big cycle lane and stuff. But I think to get down there, it's just going to be like getting to any major ground you go to. There's no quick way. No, but any major new ground, there's no quick way in and out. It's all the same. You just have to bide your time, whichever way.
Get there early.
I know it's not, I think Everton and people and other people, obviously the council and stuff, they'll be pressing saying, use public transport, get to the city centre, and then we'll have park and ride from the city centre. Anyone coming from the Will, get off at James Street and then walk, or if you're coming from like outside the city, get into Lime Street and then get yourself to Moorfields or whatever. So, but yeah, it'll be like what it is, isn't it? You'll park up maybe a mile away and walk down, like a lot of people do right now. Yeah. So
definitely. Right.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thanks for all the likes. Yeah, we'll be back. Much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you very much.
We'll be back at 5:00 for our Premier members.
We will. And
yeah, we will. Obviously, there's no lives tomorrow, and there's no lives next week on YouTube, because it'll all be exclusive to Premier. So if you're not there,
because we'll be out and about as well.
We'll be in America,
so it'll be difficult to do. But there will be stuff on YouTube from the trip.
Yeah, there'll be
and on the socials. So like have a look at that.
But join Premier. That's the place to be. Links in the description. It'll be on the screen in 2 seconds. Well, it's the place to be.
Julian says the final comments. Bon voyage, lads. Dublin Airport is fairly chaotic, but hopefully it should be okay. Top tip, go to dublinairport.com and get your flight updates sent to you via WhatsApp.
I'll leave that to Baz and to John.
I'll do that.
There you go. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.